U.S. State Department is drawing attention by surprisingly appointing a former management consultant to a key position in European diplomacy. Let's take a closer look at the background and controversy.
Reuters reported on the 25th that Brandon Hanrahan was appointed as the new director of the U.S. State Department's Bureau of European and Eurasian Affairs. Hanrahan has worked at global consulting firms, Bain and Company and McKinsey and Company, and is a management consultant, not a traditional diplomat. He also worked as a staff member for current Secretary of State Marco Rubio when he was a senator and served as a policy advisor to the Senate Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee. However, his diplomatic experience is virtually unknown, and there are voices of concern both inside and outside the State Department, asking whether he will be able to respond effectively in the diplomatic field. In particular, this appointment was made amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and Europe, as President Trump made remarks about annexing Greenland and clashed with Europe over demands for increased NATO defense spending. The director of the Bureau of European and Eurasian Affairs is a key position that oversees diplomacy across Europe, including Russia and Ukraine. Hanrahan will be in a position to lead complex diplomatic negotiations with Russia, Ukraine, the European Union, and NATO allies. Hanrahan's predecessor, Louis Bono, expressed expectations, saying, Hanrahan will be able to successfully lead the reorganization by leveraging his experience in the private sector and Congress. However, Reuters pointed out that it is unclear whether Hanrahan had direct experience in foreign affairs in Rubio's office. State Department officials who requested anonymity said there are concerns internally about his lack of experience, raising concerns that it could expose the weaknesses of the U.S. negotiating team, especially when negotiating with experienced opponents like Russia. Since President Trump's inauguration, there have been a series of non-traditional appointments, such as Steve Witkoff, a billionaire real estate developer, leading negotiations with Russia. A senior State Department official said, Hanrahan has demonstrated outstanding capabilities through his experience in commercial diplomacy in the private sector, and emphasized he will actively pursue the America First strategy in Europe. Meanwhile, as the Ukraine war is protracted, the United States is also faced with the task of strengthening the center of its diplomacy in Europe. So attention is being paid to what results this appointment will produce.
Will the new European strategy led by a diplomat who started out as a consultant succeed? We will have to wait and see what happens next.